Comments on the show. I'm sure, Chris, you can write your letters to Chris Davis and we'll try to make the show better for you.
Northeastern, don't ask the zip, I don't know.
And it's time.
Survey says.
The price is wrong, Bobby. For trivia.
Live from the ECAT studios in Northeastern Massachusetts, this is Tuesday Triviality. It's November 21st, 2023, and I'm your host and Trivia Master of Ceremonies, Tim Poupolo. Alright, I think it's time for trivia. Tuesday Triviality is brought to you all by Michael Associates Ltd. Located in Quincy, they specialize in real estate and financial services, including the private placement of federal housing tax credit partnerships to both individual and corporate investors. So thank you to Michael Associates Ltd. for bringing you this evening's show. And thank you all for joining us tonight. This show features general knowledge, trivia, answers, and questions. In the other order, of course. If you're watching this as a rerun or on demand at a later date, you can always play along in spirit like your favorite TV game show. However, if you're watching this live, you have the opportunity to play along as we read the questions, participate, and potentially win prizes. So here's how that works. When I read each question, you'll have a minute with an on-screen countdown to send in your answers before I reveal the true answer on air. And how you do this is with our easy peasy online answer sheet. So right over here, we have a QR code. You can take this moment to either scan this on your screen, or you can follow a link, which is also available on our Facebook promotion, to get to that answer sheet. So that'll be up for just a little while longer. So if you're watching this on the big screen, small screen, wherever, we'll all be using this same answer sheet format. It brings up a pretty simple answer sheet with really two blanks, your name and your answer. So when you have that out, notice there's also a non-required field to fill out at the bottom. You don't have to send this in every time, just once in the beginning, and that is an email address. So your first answer for the evening, if you can put in your email address also, if you're one of our winners in any of the rounds, as long as you don't change your name, we'll be able to figure out how to reach you for your prize. All right, so for those returning and for those new, a little bit of a pro tip, because in this game, being correct isn't the only thing you have to do. You also have to be a little fast. So speed is rewarded. In that case, it may be helpful to put in your name first before I read the question so that you can eliminate any of those delays and work right in on the nitty and the gritty. So for every question, the top 3 quickest correct answers will be put into our winners pool. So that means for every question, there will be 3 names put into the winner's pool. And at the end of each round, that round-specific winner pool will have a random drawing for one of our prizes. Each round, tonight we'll have 3 rounds, will have a prize. So our first round prize is a $50 gift card to Shangri-La Salon and Day Spa, located on Main Street in Easton. So this gift card, let me clarify, it's for services, not for any products. So you can treat yourself to a little bit of Shangri-La right here in Northeastern Massachusetts. A $50 gift card for services at Shangri-La, Day Spa, and Salon is your round 1 prize. In round 2, what we'll be playing for is a $50 gift card to the Stoneforge Grill. And this was donated to us by Doug King Builders. Doug King Builders, with more than 50 years experience designing and building over 1,500 homes and 50 commercial properties. So the Stoneforge Grill is located at 10 Roosevelt Circle in southeastern Massachusetts. So round 2, we'll be playing for the $50 Stoneforge gift card from Doug King Builders. And then round 3. Round 3 will be yet another $50 gift card. This one is to La Cucina restaurant. So La Cucina is located at 140 Main Street here in Easton, and this is authentic food from Italy and the Mediterranean. So again, round 1, Shangri-La Spa and Salon. Round 2, Stoneforge Grill. And round 3, La Cucina. That's what we're playing for. So in order to max out your chances at one of those prizes, you'll want to be one of those top 3 fastest, most correct answerers for each question. Now that is to max out your chances. If you get in there at least once, you also have an even chance of being our lucky winner for each round. And the final thing, we'll keep this match above the belt. Siri, Alexa, and Google are not members of your team. We're here to see who has the best collection of useless information swimming around in their brain and who can pull it out in the time of need. Hopefully you have your answer form all ready, locked and loaded. Please only one answer per question per person. If you enter a second answer for another question, we will only look at your first submission. So choose carefully. All right, with that, we're about ready to jump into round 1. Round 1 and 2 and 3, you'll have 1 minute before we reveal the answers on air. So without any further ado, let's hear round 1, question 1. Round 1, question 1 on the screen now. If you were to travel to the Hawkeye State, where would you be going? So right here, we're looking for one of our 50 nifty United States. For reference, Massachusetts is the Bay State. Rhode Island is the Ocean State. Let's see, we got Florida as the Sunshine State. Which U.S. state is also known as the Hawkeye State? The Hawkeye State is what we're looking for right here. So let's see. You can send those answers in. And again, if you're watching this on Facebook or live on TV, we'll all be using the same answer format. So it doesn't matter how you're watching. You could be watching over a friend's shoulder. If you have your own device, a laptop, a tablet, or a phone, that's your way to send it in. All right, we have some answers coming in, but we're in the final quarter, so to speak. Last 15 seconds. Which state is the Hawkeye State? Not related to Hawkeye Pierce from MASH. He was not from this state. I think that was a different reference they were going for. All right, and that's our time. The answer for that is Iowa. Iowa is the Hawkeye State. For any NCAA fans, you may know the Iowa Hawkeyes as the popular team out of Iowa. All right, we're going to move right on to question number 2. Question number 2, who was U.S. president when nuclear bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Those two very famous Japanese cities. We're looking for one of our U.S. presidents who dropped the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So just looking for one of our U.S. presidents right here. I believe this president actor portraying this president did briefly appear in the movie Oppenheimer, which was about the creation of these bombs in question. So we're looking for a U.S. president here. A U.S. president that authorized both uses of a nuclear bomb in warfare. The only 2 authorized uses so far to date. All right, we're coming down 20-second mark. Again, you have nothing to lose by just sort of sending in an answer. If that's your one answer. Okay, we have some answers coming in. How many people know which U.S. president? That's a pretty important piece of U.S. history right here, if you know your presidents. All right, there's our time. The answer here was Harry Truman. Harry Truman, he was directly following FDR. So FDR was not involved in this. He was involved in the planning and creation of, but he passed away before any actual decision to use them. This was Harry S. Truman. Just Truman would have done. Okay. Up next, question number 3. In which century did Beethoven compose and perform his famous Ninth Symphony? Many people are familiar with Beethoven's Ninth. It's one of his most famous symphonies, and I figured it would be a little too difficult to ask you what year that came out. You'd have to be pretty good for that one. But just which century. And for reference, we are right now in the 21st century. So using that logic, it's sort of offset. 2010, 2005, that's all 21st century. 1945, that was in the 20th century. So as that is a reference point, which century did Beethoven write and compose and perform the famous Ninth Symphony? Okay, we got some answers coming in. Answers coming in right here. So you can sort of have to put yourself in that place. Maybe imagine, visualize a picture of Beethoven. What was he wearing? When was that the style and popular? Okay. And the answers are coming in, and that's our time. It's the 19th century. So it was actually the 1820s. 1824 is when that happened. And he operated a lot in the 1800s, which would be the 19th century. So 19th, or just if you sent 19, that was good enough for me. All right, moving on. The next one, Cuckoo Cuckoo, Mrs. Robinson. What actor played the male lead in the film The Graduate? The Graduate, that's a classic 1967 film. Very famous right there. 1967 film, The Graduate. Who played the male lead is what we're asking. All right, this one hopefully should be one that many people might get, but time will tell. Okay. Cuckoo Cuckoo, Mrs. Robinson. Also where that Simon and Garfunkel song made its debut. All right, so this one more people are familiar with than they know Beethoven. Reasonably. Not looking for the year or the century this came out. Simply, what actor had the lead role in the film The Graduate? So we're looking, we got a couple right answers in right here, but there's still room for one more to be in this question's top three. All right, down to the wire here, send them in. And the correct answer for this one was Dustin Hoffman. This was Dustin Hoffman. You guys seemed confident in that one, so we're on a good roll right there. Dustin Hoffman in The Graduate. Okay, so now I might lose you. Here's a little tougher one. Tougher one right here. Found in nature, what would you study if you were a dendrologist? A dendrologist. So, quick disclaimer, I will not accept dendrology as the answer. I know someone might want to try that. Dendrology, I guess, is the same study. So another way to word this is, what is dendrology the study of? Ology meaning the Greek root of the study of, and dendron being the Greek word for the correct answer. So I guess, what is dendron in Greek? What is a dendrologist study? And what would be on the cover of a dendrology textbook? For reference, you have the little context clue that it's found in nature. All right, some answers coming in. Found in nature. What would a dendrologist study? Ooh. All right, some good valid guesses here. Dendrology is the study of trees. Of trees. Dendron, you might see, I guess if you're talking about nerves, dendrites are part of nerves that look like tree branches. So dendron is Greek for tree. And if you didn't know, you learned something already today. But dendrology is the study of trees. So your local arborist may have a degree in that. All right. Moving into the back half right here, what jersey number has Major League Baseball retired from all Major League teams in honor of Jackie Robinson? So every team has their own list of retired numbers. Obviously, we have Babe Ruth's number retired at Yankee Stadium. David Ortiz recently had his number retired at Fenway Park. But throughout all of Major League Baseball, there is one jersey number that is retired and is up there in the rafters, although it's in blue, regardless of what color the team's numbers may appear on the jerseys. What number is the jersey of Jackie Robinson, who is the last baseball player to ever wear that number? That is except for April 15th. April 15th is Jackie Robinson Day, in which every player in Major League Baseball wears this one number on their jersey. Causes mass confusion, I'm sure. But, yeah. What number did Jackie Robinson wear? This number hangs up in every single Major League Baseball stadium and ballpark. Okay, and that's our time. Correct answer is 42. Coincidentally, the answer to the universe, 42 is Jackie Robinson's number, and no baseball player wears that anymore, except on Jackie Robinson Day, in which they all wear it. Okay, moving right along, question number 7. Here we go. In what Shakespeare play would you find the supporting characters Tybalt and Benvolio? Tybalt and Benvolio is what we're looking for. A Shakespeare play. A Shakespeare play right here. So, reasonably, these are not the two main characters. These are two side characters, which both have a close relationship to the main ensemble, so to speak. Tybalt and Benvolio. Many people are familiar with Shakespeare's works. You've seen them redone and remastered many different ways, still required reading in most high schools. Tybalt and Benvolio are two supporting characters in what Shakespeare play? A very famous Shakespeare play, but I guess that's a little redundant since there aren't very many Shakespeare plays that aren't famous these days. All right. And we're getting down to the wire, so just send in the first Shakespeare play that comes to mind, and you could have a chance. Ooh, and that's our time. That play is Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet was the name of that play, where Tybalt and Benvolio are the close friends and confidants of Romeo and Juliet, which don't very often support them being together because they're very much tied to the families, the Montagues and Capulets, who feud. Okay, so this takes us to our last question of round 1. What mint candy calls itself the Fresh Maker? We're looking for a candy that calls itself the Fresh Maker. Or at least I believe it did in the 80s and 90s. I think they've rebranded just to Stay Fresh. But either Stay Fresh as the current slogan or the Fresh Maker as the one many people remember from the 80s and 90s. What is the name of this sugary treat with a fresh mint flavor? The Fresh Maker. All right, this is what we're looking for. We're about halfway through time for this one. Okay. Some good guesses. A mint candy. So that sort of narrows the field, and we're looking for the Fresh Maker. Who is the Fresh Maker? That's what I want to know. In the last 10 seconds. All right. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Break out the Diet Coke because the correct answer is Mentos. Mentos, the Fresh Maker. Or Mentos Stay Fresh is the modern version, I suppose. Good old Mentos. Okay, so what we're going to do now is take a brief 1-minute break, and when we come back, we'll have all of you top answers for each question assigned, and you'll have a home in this wonderful pillowcase of wonders where we'll come back and we will draw for our first round winner. And again, we'll be playing for the Shangri-La Spa and Day Salon on Main Street, $50 gift card. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
There, I'm Gail Devins, and join me as we discover all the businesses that made Easton great. This is a wonderful, wonderful place. I cannot wait. I want to do it. I want to go there. I am definitely coming back, and I know you will too, because I'm telling you something. It is absolutely amazing in here. What a wonderful way to discover Easton. It's right here in Easton. Showing at noon on Mondays, 2 p.m. on Tuesdays, and 11 a.m. on Fridays, only on ECAT.
And we're back. All right, hopefully you enjoyed your brief break, because now we have everybody assigned to a place right in here. So here we go. Let's see who's our round one winner. Round one winner right here. Okay. All right, look at that. Answer number 14. So that is for being the second correct answerer of Mentos. This goes to Jessica. Jessica, you are our round one winner right here. So let's mark you down. So we'll be able to contact you with that prize and info. And for everybody else, there's always round 2 and round 3 coming up here. So now's your chance also, if you're just joining us, to get up your answer sheet, because anything that you submit in the form of a Facebook comment or just yelling at your TV screen will be lost in the void. You'll need to utilize this QR code right here to get to that easy smartphone answer sheet. Again, fastest thumbs in the West, but to get that little edge, you can put in your name ahead of time so that when the question is on the screens, you're ready to go. Okay, so again, for round 2, the same rules apply. You'll still have 1 minute before we move on to the next question. The only difference is we are now playing for Stoneforge Grill $50 gift card. Again, the Stoneforge Grill, this was donated by Doug King Builders here in Easton, Massachusetts, and the Stoneforge Grill is located at 10 Roosevelt Circle in southeastern Mass. So this is what we're playing for. We'll have your shot yet. All right. So without any further ado, let's see if the odds are in your favor and jump right into round 2. All right, question number 1. What actor played Jedi Master Mace Windu in 3 Star Wars films? That's what we're looking here, is an actor that played Mace Windu. 3 Star Wars films, but I'm not sure about the other smaller properties, if this Jedi Master also maybe appeared in Disney Plus series or any of that. They've done a lot of revivals over the years, but as far as their episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, Jedi Master Mace Windu appeared in 3 of them and is famously played by what actor? Looking for an actor that played Jedi Master Mace Windu. Yeah, so if you know your Star Wars, this one might scream out to you. This is a name that is recognizable. So this isn't someone who's solely known for the Star Wars role. The Star Wars role is simply one of many for this actor. All right, we're in the last 5 seconds. So think about that Jedi Master. All right, and the correct answer was Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson. He's also the only Jedi Master with a purple lightsaber. Why purple? Because he wanted a purple lightsaber, and they ended up writing a story around that. But Samuel L. Jackson is Jedi Master Mace Windu in 3 Star Wars movies. Question number 2. What is the name of the river that carved out and continues to run through the Grand Canyon? And, ergo, the Grand Canyon National Park. So if you go to the Grand Canyon National Park, you can river raft on what river? This river has been around for, I guess, millions of years. Or, if there's the Ice Age, perhaps might throw throw a curveball, a monkey wrench in that. So let's say it's been around at least 15,000 years. What is the name of that river that carved out the Grand Canyon and continues to run through it to this day? And as it runs through it, it also deepens it. Of course, that's not something that we can see very measurable over the past couple years, but you come back in 1,000 years, it'll be an even deeper canyon. So it really doesn't want to lose that, doesn't want to lose its record. It needs to keep running up the clock. All right, so we're in our last 5 seconds. Name that famous river. All right, this one we did fairly well. Correct answer was the Colorado River. The Colorado River. I know what you're thinking, it's in Arizona, but it also goes through Colorado. So that's how it got its name. The Colorado River carved out the Grand Canyon. Up next, question number 3. Question number 3. What cable channel's slogan was "Characters Welcome" from 2005 to 2016? 2005 to 2016, we're looking for a cable TV channel in which "Characters Welcome" was their official slogan for 11 years. All right, yeah, sort of think about your cable TV channels. "Characters Welcome." That's only until 2016. I think their current one that they've adopted, I'm not sure if there was something in an interim, but it is currently We the Bold. We the Bold, but most people can recognize it from Characters Welcome, since this is when they had one of their their largest lineup before the steady dwindling of cable TV. Characters Welcome was the slogan. Now, like I said, it is We the Bold. What is the name of that cable TV channel? Nobody wrote ECAT. Okay, the correct answer was USA. The USA Network, Characters Welcome. I'm sure now that I say it, you're like, it rolls off the tongue together. They are now We the Bold, but for 11 years they were Characters Welcome. Up next, question number 4. The fabled landing site of the Mayflower, what year is inscribed on Plymouth Rock? So there may be debate whether or not the Mayflower actually landed right there at the Plymouth Rock we know, but there is no question when the Mayflower landed. That is November 11th of what year? And that year is etched into Plymouth Rock. Etched into Plymouth Rock there. And if you need any other hints, this is 1 year before the first Thanksgiving. So with Thanksgiving coming up this week, it might be fresh in your mind. So if you know what year the first Thanksgiving was, the landing of the Mayflower was the November before that. So what year is carved into Plymouth Rock? We're in a final 10 seconds here to throw a year. If you're still debating it, throw out something in the ballpark. You always have that little chance. All right, well, the correct answer, now that time's out, is 1620. 1620 is right there, etched on Plymouth Rock. The Mayflower landed in Plymouth, Massachusetts on November 11th, 1620. And our first Thanksgiving was 1621, which means we are now in the, this 402nd Thanksgiving in a row. What a record. All right, 1620 for the Mayflower right there. Question number 5. What is the state capital of Wyoming? Nice and easy and to the point right there. Are you smarter than a 5th grader? What's the capital of Wyoming? Now, Wyoming, I believe that's our least populated U.S. state, but it still has a state capital and state legislature nonetheless. May not be as famous as Boston, Massachusetts, or Tallahassee, Florida, but what is the state capital of Wyoming? Wyoming, I believe their state flag has a good old American bison on it. That's Wyoming, home of Yellowstone National Park. All right, 20 seconds left. The state capital of Wyoming. If you don't know now, you probably knew this at one point in your life. You might have known all 50 U.S. state capitals. None of them have changed around since the Shays Rebellion. So it's been pretty locked in. The state capital of Wyoming. The correct answer is Cheyenne. Cheyenne, Wyoming. That's going to have to be added to your bucket list. The vibrant downtown of Cheyenne is the capital of Wyoming. Okay, question number 6. We'll get back into the realm of fiction here. In the classic Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, what is the name of the bad egg girl that won a golden ticket and ended up in the trash furnace? So we're looking for the name of one of the kids who received a golden ticket in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I believe in the Gene Wilder version, it was the bad egg girl, but in the original book and in the Johnny Depp version, she was a bad nut. But it all still holds true. Looking for the name of this, this little girl who was known as a bad egg in the classic Gene Wilder version and a bad nut in the Johnny Depp version and the original Roald Dahl book. In our last 20 seconds, hopefully you can sort of rack your brain for all the characters. You know, Charlie Bucket, he was the good kid. But what kid was a bad egg and was sent down the trash chute into the furnace? But lucky her, they didn't turn on the furnaces that day. Okay, our correct answer right there was Veruca Salt, aka I Want It Now. Spelling doesn't count in this game also, so we took any variations of Veruca, or things that seemed like you were trying to say Veruca Salt, but everyone spelt salt right at least. Veruca Salt right there is the bad egg girl in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Up next, this is a good one coming up with Thanksgiving. The official state dessert of New Hampshire is the pumpkin pie. What is the official state dessert of Massachusetts? All right, every state has a state dessert and a state bird and a state flower. Many more people might know the state birds because those are more widely known, but the state dessert also has a nice rich tie into, I guess, the cultural relevance of that state, where New Hampshire has the pumpkin pie. I believe Maine has the blueberry pie. And down in Florida, you have the Key West pie. Key West lime pie, right? Yeah, key lime pie. Key lime pie because of Key West, where the key limes grow. So we're looking for what is the official state dessert of Massachusetts. The pumpkin pie, New Hampshire state dessert, we ought to be seeing on a lot of tables this week, but maybe many people would prefer Massachusetts state dessert right here. All right, and here's our time. The correct answer is Boston cream pie. Boston cream pie, I know you're thinking, of course, because Boston cream, there's your relevant link right there. Boston cream pie. I'm glad nobody wrote like clam chowder or something. But I guess that would be close. All right, our final question in round 2. Here we go. Your last minute. Easter Island is in the Pacific Ocean. In which ocean is Christmas Island located? So, 2 fun holiday-themed islands that don't very well match up with their associated holiday names. Easter Island, you may know from those very large heads. And Christmas Island is not a snowscape. It is not at the North Pole. In which ocean could you find Christmas Island? Okay. And the answers are coming in. Yeah, I always wondered, how would you like to spend Christmas on Christmas Island? In which ocean could you find Christmas Island? So at least we have it a little narrowed down for you right there. You're restricted to the oceans of the world. We're not asking of the seas, so there's very few oceans, I guess, in the grand scheme. You could see this as a long-form multiple choice. But okay, looks like our answers are in and our time is up. The correct answer was the Indian Ocean. The Indian Ocean. So this Christmas Island is off the west coast of Australia. Christmas Island is an Australian territory off the west coast, so that would be the Indian Sea, directly south of India and Sri Lanka, albeit a little bit further south than other islands, but it is in the Indian Ocean. All right, and with that, it looks like we've made our way through all of round 2, and just like last time, we'll be back after a 1-minute break with your drawing for your round 2 prize. This round we're playing for the Stoneforge Grill $50 gift card brought to us by Doug King Builders.
And welcome to the official first episode of Eatin' with ECAT. My name is Joseph Taft.
I'm Jack Ryan.
And I'm Abby Kishnam.
We are, in fact, your co-hosts, and we are determined to bring you all the big eats that you can handle. So listen, if you're a foodie, you're not going to want to miss any of the action. Check out our website, www.eastoncat.org, or find us on social, at EastonCat, to find this episode on demand.
Oh, you're going down, Kishnam. You're going down. You're going down.
I got through the foam, and I'm getting a little more down to the... It's like...
The fact that there's jelly in this just unsettles me.
A Reuben sandwich is the best sandwich out. The sauerkraut mixed with the Thousand Island and the rye bread.
This is something I have never seen before.
We're good. We're all family here.
Where does the ice cream begin?
Big
and
bite.
the whipped cream end.
No more plate.
All right, and we're back. Our top answerers are identified for each of the round 2 questions. And each of our top answerers now has their space back in this bag. So here we go. For the Stoneforge Grill, we have right here is answerer 16. Ooh, this is for the Indian Ocean, down to the wire. This is Dave W. Dave W. for correctly saying Indian Ocean for Christmas Island. You are our round 2 answer. So you never know which answer of yours might do it. For Dave, it was the Indian Ocean right there. So right down to the last question. You were the second person to do Indian Ocean. So again, you never know. You got to be fast and you got to be correct, and you could have your chance. So again, I'll invite everybody to, if you still have been playing, you can just submit another response. That same answer sheet you've been doing for every question in rounds 1 and 2. Still good for round 3. If you're just joining us again, here's another chance to hop onto that QR code so that we actually get your responses time-stamped down to the millisecond in case we got something close. So if you have that up, we're again going to jump into round 3. Round 3, you'll still have a minute on the clock appearing on the screen for that countdown. And we will be playing this time for a $50 gift card to La Cucina. La Cucina Ristorante at 140 Main Street. Flavors of authentic food from Italy and the Mediterranean. So this is what we're playing for. And here's your last chance to get in on these sweet prizes here at Triviality. All right, with another minute on the clock, let us jump right in. Question number 1. What part of speech in English grammar is the word despite in the sentence? The sailor went out to sea despite the weather. So the sailor went out to sea despite the weather. What part of speech in English grammar would be the word despite? So right here, this is some good old-fashioned, this is fun. Good old-fashioned grammar. How well do you know your parts of speech? Your parts of speech here. You got your nouns, your verbs. If you know your nouns and verbs, you'll know that despite is neither a noun nor a verb. What could the word despite be used in the sentence? The sailor went out to sea despite the weather. Yeah, maybe we need to watch a little Schoolhouse Rock. I believe they have a song about this type of word as well. All right, we have a bunch of answers in. Here we go. The correct answer, though, is a preposition. A preposition might be something like on, about, under, around, or despite. A preposition. But now you know, and you'll be thinking about your prepositions when you're sitting on a chair in your house. Up next, question number 2, some good old-fashioned U.S. geography here. Below North Dakota is South Dakota. Which U.S. state is directly below South Dakota? So if you're looking at that part of the map of the United States of America, you'll notice that there are 3 states stacked together like a sandwich, with South Dakota being the meat of this sandwich, North Dakota being the top bun, likely with the sesame seeds on it. Which U.S. state would be the bottom bun of this South Dakota sandwich? Okay, we got our answers coming in. Hopefully we know our U.S. geography here. U.S. geography. So you have North Dakota, South Dakota, question mark. What U.S. state is directly below South Dakota? I know it's like every round you've gotten something with U.S. geography. We figured out the Colorado River. Cheyenne, Wyoming was kind of tough, but hopefully this one's a bit more attainable. Which U.S. state is under South Dakota? The correct answer was Nebraska. Nebraska right there is right underneath South Dakota. So that's the bottom bun in our South Dakota sandwich right there. If there's a little piece of Mount Rushmore you'll have to pick out. All right, our next question. We're looking for what character is also known as the beauty school dropout in the 1978 musical Grease. In Grease, a lot of the characters have nice nicknames. What is the name of the character that was known as the beauty school dropout and the subject of the song Beauty School Dropout? All right, no graduation date for this character because this character missed their midterms and flunked shampoo. If you are thinking about the movie, this character also didn't do too well in tinting class, as revealed by bright pink hair. Who is the beauty school dropout in Grease? And we're about halfway through the time for this question. Rack your brain for your Grease characters. Yeah, you got Sandy, but it's not Sandy. We know Sandy well as John Travolta's love interest, but it was part of the nice female gang counterparts to the T-Birds. All right, our last 5 seconds to name that Grease character, and the correct answer is Frenchie. Frenchie. Either spelt with a Y or an I-E. Frenchie is the name of that character who didn't do too well in any of her classes at beauty school. The beauty school dropout. All right, question number 4. Let's see how well you did in dental school. How many premolars is an adult human supposed to have? Of course, I can't say does the average human have, because that would be a decimal based on how we treat our teeth. How many premolars? So if you're looking into your mouth with a mirror, you have incisors, you have canines, you have premolars, and you have molars in your adult set of teeth. How many premolars are adult humans supposed to have under perfect circumstances, so to speak? How many premolars? So I wouldn't count it cheating if you were to stick your finger in your mouth and sort of count them off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and up. How many premolars? So you can sort of think Now we have 4 canine teeth because you got to think top, bottom, left, right, your whole mouth. And you got to think about your molars. How many of those back teeth are molars? How many are those premolars, which are distinctively different? All right, and that's our time. The correct answer right there is 8. So you have, these are the 2 right after each canine teeth. Your top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right, right there. So a total of 8 premolars, 2 behind each canine teeth before your actual molars begin. Okay, this one I quite enjoy. Give a hoot, don't pollute is the slogan of the U.S. Forest Service mascot that goes by what name? Now, the U.S. Forest Service also has another mascot with another slogan, Only You. This is not the Only You U.S. Forest Service mascot. They have another mascot who has a different slogan, Give a hoot, don't pollute. What is the name of this Forest Service mascot? Okay. Yeah, it looks like we got our answers coming in. People seem to have honed in on the correct species of this mascot, but what we're looking for is correct name as well. So give a hoot, don't pollute. Yes. Head to head with Only You Can Prevent Forest Fires. Figured that one was a little easier. A lot of people know Smokey Bear, but this one hasn't gotten as much airtime as good old Smokey. And the correct answer right here was Woodsy Owl. Woodsy Owl. I don't think anybody wrote it, but I would have also accepted, I guess, Woody the Owl. I'd chalk that up to a spelling error. But Woodsy, give a hoot, don't pollute. Working in tandem with Smokey, they can make our forests healthier and cleaner. Okay, here's some literary questions for you. And up next, what iconic novel begins with this line? It was a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13. Looking for a novel, and the opening line to this classic novel is, it was a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13. What is the name of that novel? All right, and the clock is running. The clock is not beginning at 13, so we're in luck. I'd like to give you some more hints, but giving the author would likely also give away this novel. So what novel could this be? It was a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13. Now this is a novel many people know, many people have read, and I'm assuming that once they reveal the answer, you'll be like, oh, I know of that novel, whether or not you know of this opening line. But what novel is it? And like I said, unfortunately, I can't talk too much about the author because that will likely give it away. All right, and we've run out of time. The author is George Orwell, because it is 1984. That one, the classic, one of the books that started the dystopian genre. 1984 was the name of that novel. The clocks were striking 13. All right, moving right along, right here. Which U.S. state is the home of the famous Death Valley, where temperatures are the hottest in the entire hemisphere? So this is our entire hemisphere. The hottest temperatures on the continent are found in which U.S. state? And this is also in an area known as Death Valley. Very aptly named, if I so do say so myself. Where can you find Death Valley? Okay. I'm seeing a lot of hot states. We got a couple right ones, but there's still room for someone else. If you if you can sort of put some thought to it, we're in our last 25 seconds here to name where Death Valley's hottest point is. Now, one thing is Death Valley does, the actual valley of Death Valley does span 2 states, but the hottest portion of it is pretty squarely in one of those 2 states. So, it's close. Temperatures are hottest in the hemisphere is in which U.S. state? The hottest state by point is California. Now, that's not the hottest state on average, but the hottest place in the United States is in California, should I say, and that is Death Valley, California. There is parts of Death Valley that extend into Nevada, not nearly as hot as the parts of Death Valley in California, though, where temperatures regularly rise over 120 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, up next is our last question. Time flies, and so this is your last chance to get your name added to the bag to play for our $50 gift card right here for round 3. So put on those thinking caps. Here we are in the Goonies. The kids that self-identify as Goonies hunt tirelessly for the treasure of what fictional pirate? We're looking for the name of a fictional pirate that these self-identified Goonies are hunting the treasure of. Now, they self-identify as Goonies, so I'm not calling them Goonies through any sort of derogatory speech. They call themselves the Goonies. And Goonies, they never say die, and they also find what treasure? The treasure of what fictional pirate is what we're looking for right here. The Goonies is a very classic 1980s movie. I don't know if they'll be remaking that anytime soon, but every time there's a really good moneymaker out there, I'm sure somebody's thinking about remaking it down the line. But the Goonies, it's all about finding a treasure map in the attic, which leads to an underground chamber and eventually a pirate ship where they do find the skeleton of this fictional pirate. The subject of their hunt and their dreams all movie long is to find the treasure of One-Eyed Willie. Good old One-Eyed Willie right there with the Goonies. So it looks like we have our answerers all in. We'll be back just as before with our round 3 winner for La Cucina Ristorante here in Northeastern Italian and Mediterranean cuisine. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with our round 3 answer.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of For the Love of Words.
After a 3-year hiatus, join me, John Holgerson, and
Priscilla Almquist Olson,
as we interview poets and musicians.
Could you give the audience a little summary of your background as a child?
When I turned 7 or so, we were car bombed. That stuck out.
And have them share their love of words.
Sometimes I wonder, do you ever think of me?
a thin broth of moonlight caught in the trees spreads across the garden brush, so one side of every stick shimmers while the other sides melt into one another, a mass grave of cherry, pear, and pine.
For the Love of Words at 7 p.m. on Thursdays.
And we're back. All right, so just like in rounds 1 and 2, we are all tallied up to be our round 3 winners. So we'll see who it is. Again, $50 gift card to La Cucina Ristorante, 140 North Main Street in Northeastern. So here we go. Let me reach the bottom of the bag this time. See if there's anybody that found their way to the corners. Okay. So right here, okay, answerer number 20, for correctly saying 8 premolars, we have Lori. Lori, you are our round 3 winner for a La Cucina Ristorante here in Easton, Massachusetts. So let me mark you down right there. But I want to thank you all for joining us this evening for Tuesday Triviality. This show is brought to us by Michael Associates Ltd., located in Quincy, Mass. They specialize in real estate and financial services, including the private placement of federal housing tax credit partnerships to both individual and corporate investors. Hopefully you'll join us next month on Tuesday, December 26th at 6 to 7 p.m. For the next episode of Tuesday Triviality with me. If you like this and other programs on ECAT, don't forget that they can't do it without help from viewers like you. So with either a sponsorship or a donation. So if you would like to help ECAT out with a donation, you can just go to eastoncat.org and look at the bottom for the donation link. Until next time, keep that curiosity alive. This is Triviality. I'm Tim Poupolo, and I'll see you next month.